Howdy boys, it's MPC. In this video we're going to be going over the top 10 snow vehicles to use in GTA Online. Los Santos is covered in white powder for this week. It does make driving around a little bit harder, so this is going to be the top 10 vehicles that you guys can use to commute. This video will not feature any air vehicles because that kind of defeats the whole purpose of dealing with the snow and kind of being more immersed in the experience, so it's just going to be vehicles with wheels on the ground. First up on our list is the Pegassi Toros, which is conveniently on sale for $350,000, down from $500,000. This car is absolutely excellent. I personally, it is my favorite SUV to drive in the game. Not only is it also the fastest SUV, but it's also just quite heavy, and it does like to stick to the ground. It doesn't slide around all too much because it's pretty heavy, and it's only really when you like make those big turns that it slides a little bit, but it's not that bad, and I think the brakes are quite decent as well. I just never really feel like I'm gonna lose control of the car when I'm driving this thing. So, and not only that, this car is also incredibly pretty. So that's a big plus to why you guys should buy it. The only reason it comes at number 10 on our list is because the rest of the cars on this list do handle better in the snow. However, this is by no means a bad vehicle, and it is definitely one of the cheapest on the list as well. Up next on our list is the Vapid Contender. This thing is quite quick. It is a very, very fast truck. Despite its truck-like appearance, the Vapid Contender is an SUV and formerly used to be the #1 fastest SUV in the game. It has since been dethroned by the Toros, and this thing just handles really well in the snow. It doesn't like to lose grip all that much, has a ton of traction. The off-road wheels do help, but this thing overall is just like, it's very quick, it's long, it kind of like has a very good hold on the snow. It's got decent acceleration. I would say the biggest problem with it is that it does understeer just a tiny bit, and the snow obviously doesn't help that, but it does grip very well, so hopefully you guys don't need to encounter those situations when driving this thing. Not to mention, it is an absolutely beautiful truck, and it's probably one of my favorite trucks in the game. If you guys are looking to buy one, the Vapid Contender is available for sale on Southern San Andreas under the luxury section for $250,000. That is literally like one Acid Lab sell mission, or a quarter of another, MC business or something. So super worth your money. Next up on our list is the Ducati Scramjet. This is the speed racer car, the Mach 5 essentially. And this car is really, really strong in the snow. Not because it's particularly great at handling or anything, just because it has so many capabilities to help it maneuver. I did say that no air vehicles were going to be in the game, but this technically does not count as an air vehicle. So with its ability to jump over objects while you're sliding, and the ability to be able to boost when you're sliding down a hill or something because of the crazy wheel spin that you're going to get, I think this car is worthy of making the list. This car is super fun to mess around with, obviously, because it has so many utilities. The only thing is that it is quite expensive, being priced at $3.5 million on Warstock Cash and Carry. Is this one worth your money? If you're looking for a fun car to drive, then yes. However, it does get pretty hard to control, and there are other cars in this list that are far better suited for the snow. But this one does definitely make for a good time. Up next, we have the Lampadati Tropos Rally. This one is a rally car. It is meant for off-roading. I think it's super cool with the pop-up headlights. I'm personally a huge fan of this car, whether or not it is snowing. It does like to grip the ground very well. It is a little jerky in its handling, and I think that is honestly a big addition in the snow because it means it likes to correct itself, and it corrects itself quickly at that. While regular sports and rally cars would kind of slide, this car tends to, it just grips the ground very well, and it's also not long, which means no part of the car slides out. Even when I'm trying to spin this car out, it is sticking to the ground very well, and it definitely like corrects itself when it steps out. So I think that's why this is a super good car for driving around in the snow. You can find this car under the two-door section of Southern San Andreas for $816,000. Is this one worth your money? I very much think so. If you guys are looking for a weaponized vehicle in the snow, then the Insurgent Pickup Custom is a fantastic option. I think Insurgents are best equipped with off-road tires, so that gives it quite good control in the snow, as well as being a pretty heavy vehicle. This thing, it kind of just stays glued to the ground the entire time you're driving it. It's not the fastest vehicle on this list, but it is one of the most armored. And you can also have a passenger mounted on that gun, catch people lacking who don't have their snowshoes on. As well as with bulletproof windows, I think this thing is pretty unstoppable in the snow. Because it is the holiday time and a lot of people are going to be on break, you know, that might leave more time for people to be playing with their friends online, to enjoy the snow and whatnot. And this car, thankfully, can hold a lot of people. I forget exactly how many. I want to say it's like 8 or something. It's 2 or 4 in the back, 2 or 4 on the sides, and then 4 within the car itself. So it is quite a menacing vehicle to roll out in. If I saw a squad pull up on me in this, I'd be pretty scared. You can pick up an insurgent pickup. See what I did there? Haha, so funny. For 1.8 million on Warstock Cash and Carry, and if you've completed the finale of the Humane Labs raid, you can grab it for 1.35 million. Do I think the insurgent pickup is worth your money? I would say we're kind of reaching a point in the game where it is beginning to get outclassed a little bit. However, it is a very, very strong vehicle and is my personal favorite armored vehicle to drive around in the game. I just think this thing is a tank and provides so much utility that it's hard to get by without it, you know? When I'm fighting oppressors and whatnot, this is my go-to. Next up on our list is the military vehicle, the Barrage. This thing is super, super cool. It has guns in both the front and the back that you can add. It's got a ridiculous amount of customization, and it's overall just a super cool vehicle. Very underrated, I think, and I wish more people would drive this in the game because it is honestly a really cool vehicle. This car does slide out in the snow a little more than the Insurgent does. However, I do think it makes it a little more fun because you get to make that suspension work. It's definitely not uncontrollable by any means. This vehicle is surprisingly strong. It can take 5 rockets, 12 homing missiles, and 12 explosive sniper shots. While it is weaker than the Insurgent armor-wise, I do think it is more fun to drive. So that's what puts it one spot higher on this list, because this list is not supposed to be about what is the best snow PvP vehicle. It's meant to be for player enjoyment. So pretty sick to drive and looks really cool as well. You can grab one of these on Warstock Cash and Carry for $2.1 million. And if you've completed the Doomsday Heist as the heist leader, you can grab it for the trade price of $1.6 million. Is this vehicle worth your money? Maybe a little less than some of the other vehicles on this list, but I do think it provides just a fantastic experience overall in the customization, the weapons, and how fun it is just to drive in general. The next vehicle on our list is the MTL Dune. I think this thing is an absolute menace. I was very surprised to see how fast it was off the line. That's something super useful in the snow because you get so much wheel spin. And it picks up speed. It actually goes like pretty fast. It is a surprisingly quick vehicle. And you know, anytime you slide out, because that's probably bound to happen, you are able to get up to speed in just a couple seconds. Faster than most vehicles I've tested in the game without special abilities, because obviously the Scramjet and the Vigilante, any vehicle with boosters is going to be faster than this thing. But for having no special abilities, this car is a menace. I think slapping some off-roads on this baby is super helpful as well, and really just makes it impossible for you to spin out. Just like, who made this thing so fast? It is so fast. I'm very, very surprised. This is probably going to be the vehicle that I'm whipping the most while the snow is out, just because, I don't know, I never really have a reason to pull it out. In general, it just feels pretty good to drive, you know? It does not feel heavy and clunky and provides the driver with a great experience in the snow. You can grab one of these on Southern San Andreas under the off-road section for $1.3 million if you pick the Globe Oil livery, and for almost $1.4 million if you pick the Fukuru Rally livery. In third, we have the Vapid Trophy Truck. I think this car is pretty much a truck version of the Lampadati Tropos Rally that was mentioned earlier on this list. It's quite jerky. It corrects a lot of its oversteering. It doesn't let itself stay sliding on the snow all too much. I think for being as light as this vehicle is, it is surprisingly good at sticking to the ground. I think a partial contributor to that is the off-road tires. However, I do think the jerkiness and it being a truck and an off-road vehicle in general, it's just a great combination for a vehicle. So I would definitely go out and grab one of these. It is super fun to drive. It is probably one of my favorite vehicles to drive in the game, actually. Anytime, whether or not it's snowing, I do like pulling this thing out. It is also great at off-roading and does have quite good acceleration. Not only that, but the engine does sound insanely aggressive, and if that's something you're looking for, this car provides. You can grab one of these off of Southern San Andreas' off-road tab for $550,000. Super worth purchase in my opinion. $550,000 is not a lot of money, and it is, I think it's just a great vehicle to own in general. The other alternative to that is the Vapid Desert Raid, which you can find right next to it, but I do think it is just an inferior version of the trophy truck, and it is also more expensive and uglier. Next up on our list is the HVY Nightshark. This thing tears up the snow. The reason why it's so high on this list is because not only is this thing a great off-road vehicle, it has a lot of features that the other vehicles on this list offer, such as it has the jerkiness of the Tropos Rally and the trophy truck in order to correct itself on the snow. It has the protection of the Insurgent. It is mounted with weapons that are usable by you. It has the acceleration of the Dune. So it's pretty much just a combination of so many vehicles on this list, and this thing is just a tank, man. Everyone knows the Nightshark to be a smaller, slightly weaker version of the Insurgent. However, you're trading off a little bit of protection for a lot more speed and acceleration. So it is a fantastic vehicle to have. Not only does this thing come with bulletproof windows, it can also take 27 homing missiles, which is absolutely ridiculous. If you guys are interested in grabbing one of these for yourselves, you can find it on Warstock Cash and Carry for $1.25 million, which is pretty much just a day's worth of work, and I think this vehicle is super worth it. The number one best vehicle to use in the snow in GTA Online is the Declassy Draugr. This thing is just an absolute menace in the snow. It's got ridiculous acceleration. It picks itself up very well. It doesn't really like to slide out. Anytime you slide, it's just such a smooth recovery. There's no jerkiness in its movements. It's got fantastic suspension, great customization, and it's just so fun to drive in the snow. Like, I think this thing is just a wonderful vehicle to have while it's snowing in GTA. It by far feels the best of every single vehicle on this list to drive around. While it is just a normal vehicle, meaning it doesn't have any weapons or armor that'll protect you from explosives or whatnot, the control that you have on this thing just feels absolutely amazing and makes the driving experience very fun in the snow, which is the most important thing, I think, for having snow vehicles. This is a game at the end of the day, and I think we should be having fun playing it, so definitely go grab yourselves one of these. At the time I'm recording this video, which is December 23rd, 2022, you can grab one of these off of Southern San Andreas' featured paid at the bottom for almost $1.9 million. If you have the trade price unlocked, it's $1.4 million. This vehicle is so sick. I think you guys should totally grab one more than any other vehicle on this list if you guys don't have it already. This is currently the fastest four-wheel off-roader in the game. The number one fastest being the motorcycles, obviously. However, this thing does put up a very, very good fight and pretty much blows the rest of the four-wheeled off-road cars out of the water. That's going to wrap it up for the top 10 best snow vehicles to own in GTA Online. Drop a like if you guys enjoyed the video or if it helped you out at all. Leave a comment and let me know if you're going to grab any of these vehicles on the list. And if you think I should have included something else, I would love to hear your thoughts. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. There will be more content like this coming out in the future. And that's about it. So take care, boys. I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.